Hello, and welcome to Tech Cubicle on SAP. I am Daryl Griffiths, and this is my weekly 180 where I spend 180 seconds on the latest techie news that impacts the world of SAP. And at the end, I pick my favourite to review in a little more detail in the Cubicle. In my SAP Techie News this week, from Technology Magazine, an article on how the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team partnership with SAP helps to push the boundaries of innovation both on and off the track. Centering on the adoption of S4HANA Cloud from their current on-premise S4HANA system, the article explains how SAP is fundamental within the Mercedes team's car design and operation. To quote, "We track all mileage consumption and usage of safety-critical components and those requiring servicing. All of that is done within SAP." I put the link to the article down below. From the SAP News Center, the latest SAP SuccessFactors release includes over 250 features and enhancements with over 30 new AI capabilities. From AI-assisted job recommendations for candidates to text and analysis capability for employees' people profiles, goals and comments, the new AI features are designed to reduce effort. New user experience interfaces allow functions of SuccessFactors to be callable from external applications such as Microsoft Teams, or performed on mobile devices. However, one bit of AI that I would really like to see is the automated timesheet entry. I want AI to predict my next week's timesheet and pre-fill it for me. That would be lovely, thank you please very much SAP. The link to the article is down below. Next, an announcement from Wipro on its partnership with Microsoft and SAP to accelerate RISE with SAP adoption. The announcement talks about a near-zero cost migration which is backed by financial incentives. However, there is a slight confusion in the article, which goes on to talk about migrating from S4HANA to S4HANA Cloud, which I'm sure will not be near-zero cost because that migration would be a very hard one to justify technically, let alone functionally. I'm going to make the assumption this near-zero cost migration is aimed at SAP ERP migrations to RISE with SAP, since it goes on to quote legacy ERP and the 2027 SAP deadline. I've added the link to the article down below. A new AWS case study details Repsol's SAP landscape consolidation and migration to AWS public cloud. The 7-year deal allowed consolidation from both on-premise and cloud into a single AWS public cloud for Repsol's large base of SAP systems. Utilizing the services of both Capgemini and AWS Professional Services, more than 40 SAP workloads were migrated and hosted across 140 EC2 instances using EBS and EFS file systems in a 10-month-long migration project started way back in 2021. This is SAP ERP, not S4HANA. Touted benefits seen include 35% reduction in SAP response times, reduced nightly batch runtimes, faster system copies, and upgrades. One thing that stands out for me is the 7-year deal. How many other companies may have signed 7-year deals like this, which will lock them out of moving to RISE in the next 4 years?
Bart Simpson?
Next, a new blog on the SAP community pages links to a podcast on the story behind SAP R3 being ported to run on Linux back in the 1990s. The podcast follows Christoph Roland and Harold Cook as they pioneer adoption of Linux as an operating system for the SAP R3 stack. The link to the blog page, which has the link to the podcast, is down below. And I recommend this wholeheartedly, it's very good. Finally, on Google Cloud, version 2.8 of the BigQuery Connector for SAP is generally available. A number of improvements are included in this version. For those unaware, BigQuery is Google's serverless data warehouse and analytics platform, now with AI. The link to the new item is down below. My favourite item this week is the story of porting SAP R3 to Linux. I really like these stories that delve into the historical aspects of the SAP software. As they discussed, Hasso-Plattner originally did not sanction porting to Linux. The SAP router was the first SAP software to run on Linux in 1998, and this makes sense as the SAP router includes a certain subset of kernel binaries, so a good test of the porting process and stability. A stark difference compared to today's cloud world, where customers and partners were positive about having Linux as a supported operating system for running SAP. In today's cloud world with AI, customers and partners don't seem to be positive about the new innovations in my view.
I'll just put this over here with the rest of the file.
Maybe that's just me. It was interesting that SAP only wanted one single distribution of Linux, with Red Hat and SUSE competing. And if you listen to the podcast, listen out for the revelation about TempFS and shared memory. As we know in the basis world, IPC or inter-process communication is performed in Linux using shared memory, and this allows communication between the work processes and other processes such as the dispatcher and the web dispatcher. These are also known as memory pipes. Finally, the surprise that Red Hat Enterprise Linux came about due to SAP's involvement.
Behold!
As always, reference links in the description down below, drop me a comment, give the video a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Percy, it's green.